Welcome to part 2 of Expanded Perspectives. So, as we saw in part 1, childbirth is one common example of loss for gain, with the mother voluntarily suffering in order to manifest more love. The second example is exciting, but it's a bit esoteric and one that you may not have consciously looked at before. I've never heard anyone discuss it, so it's probably new for you, but here it is. To manifest as the current version of the human animal, man has agreed to tuck his instinct largely out of sight, and left in this sink-or-swim situation, man must develop his ability to think, what we call our rational mind. And in our everyday perspective, this is a life-threatening handicap. So why would we do that when, for example, the hatchling, who primarily relies on instinct, emerges fully able to lead his life without benefit of parental support or conditioning? Yet in today's world, the human animal must spend the better part of 20 years learning to survive. That doesn't seem to make any sense, does it? Why would we shove instinct aside like that, putting us into so many awful situations? Why not be like the hatchling? Why? Because by doing this, the human animal gains what those ruled by instinct cannot. He develops his ability to abstractly think and dream and suppose and create. We have indeed developed this ability, and now that we have, what has man turned his hand to? He is pulling instinct back out into his consciousness, mixing it back into his life, because instinct is just another word for what we like to call spirituality. Ooh, deep thought, huh? Have you ever thought of that? It's true. Instinct is the hardwired conscious access to the One. You already know what you need to know. And isn't that what we call spirituality? And here is the bonus play. Here's what we've gained by this, though. The mental agility we developed out of necessity is like a steering wheel for the vehicle of instinct or spirituality. So instead of our instinct or spirituality running on rails on a default program like the hatchlings does, we can now determine the direction of the manifestation. Isn't that marvelous? This rational mind consciousness is the function that we gained that enables this. And so, in a manner of speaking, we're all learning to drive here. And many of us are poor drivers at the moment, but we're learning. And this is why there's a sudden interest in manifestation, because the season has arrived for the joining of these two functions. We can not only go with the flow now, but coupled with our rational mind, with this new steering wheel, we can now choose and direct the flow. By handicapping ourselves, we have attained what those ruled by instinct cannot do. And that's what we see the world in the early stages of awakening to. This urge to reconnect to our instinct, our spirituality, because we've got the steering wheel. And now we hear the call to find the vehicle it was meant to direct. And it's pretty exciting, actually. And in both of these examples, both childbirth and in gaining mental agility, we see loss for gain in action. Now, loss for gain can be hard to detect and even harder to watch, especially in the earlier stages. And here's where our understanding that nothing arises without being called, intentionally or unintentionally, helps us begin to make sense out of what otherwise might seem random. I hope this video helps expand your perspective so that we see not only the intimacy of our oneness, but genuinely grasp our immortality, and see that though we may experience being a newborn, none are new. This is the unconscious belief that you are holding that is blocking your view, and you must lay it aside and know that we have no beginning and no end. And may we extend our unconditional love to one another, because though we may appear on the surface to be individuals, We are one, and we're all in bed together in the most intimate way. I hope you can see that it's of the highest wisdom and with the eyes of truth and love, not apathy, that we are able to see that there are no accidents, no victims, and in truth, neither birth nor death. There is only our eternal awareness experiencing these experiences. And with this expanded perspective, may we not only see the answer we seek, but may we allow one another the privilege of their journey, the validation that while we're all one, their particular path is uniquely theirs and just as worthy as the next. And may our compassion always be without the bitterness of judgment or the saltiness of pity. And if we can lighten their load, whatever the circumstance, may we lighten it. If we can cool their thirst, may we hand them our cup. And if we can brighten their darkness, may we share our flame and light their way. And may we remember that not one of us are new. We are divinity in the process of singing this eternal song. How beautiful. I offer you these thoughts for your consideration.